Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new video from the new Bytes. I am here with House Test,
Yeah.
and we're going to be talking about a brand new thing that just got announced. We're talking about the PlayStation 5.
Oh yes. It's
So,
finally time.
tell us more, House.
Right. We finally got first infos about the next generation of PlayStation because Wired was actually at the San Francisco headquarters of Sony PlayStation to talk with Mark Cerny, who was again the lead architect of that new generation of console. He also was that, of course, for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro. And yeah, this very exclusive showing got us really a lot of details, we gotta say, because right now the PlayStation 5 is just like ominous, like, we don't know much, but since this week, at least, it's got very clear updates about what will be inside. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Especially like service things like backwards compatibility and, of course, who's again providing the computing power.
Okay, so tell us more about the computing power and what's in the nitty-gritty parts of the PlayStation. What's up with that?
Well, of course, there's no surprise, but again, AMD will provide a chip that will, of course, will both have the CPU and the GPU on one, I guess, unit. It will be a custom chip again. And just like with the PlayStation 4, it will be, of course, using the current generation x86 microprocessor architecture, which means this one will be based on AMD Ryzen. It will use the 7nm process, which means it will be much colder. Or let's say the other way, it won't produce as much heat because of the smaller fabrication of the CPU, and it will also have 8 cores on computing units on it. So that's quite a good core, at least.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly fast. So, talk to me about how the storage, so like SSDs and any other hardware that they've got. How is that going to work with the new power that they've got behind it?
Yeah, because of course you don't only need like computing power and of course graphics power, which by the way, it will also use an AMD Navi processor for that, which has, for example, very good processing units on there, which will also enable, for example, real-time ray tracing. So it's coming to the consoles. But yes, the storage solution also seems to be very highly advanced. According to Mark Cerny, this is an SSD-based solution, but it will be much faster than any PC SSD that you have right now in your current regular home consumer PC. And the very cool demo that we actually heard from Wired was that they had the PlayStation 4 title Spider-Man on there, of course, originally developed for them. And on the PlayStation 4 Pro, the loading time of a fast travel section took like 15 seconds. With the new PlayStation 5 storage solution, the fast travel time shrank down to 0.8 seconds.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, remember how much time you wasted in front of GTA 5, for example, before you got to actually play? Let's just take that vector. If you take it like 15 times faster, you're not waiting like 2 to 3 minutes. If that even is close to the real number, I don't know anymore. It's been a while since I played that. But you can actually jump in after 10 seconds, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Oh, that would be super cool.
This seems to be like a console specifically made for those really large open world titles where you have 4K quality of textures being constantly pulled from the storage and, of course, made available in the RAM and CPU. And, of course, with that, you can also enable, which was another example that they had, actually enable characters that are fast, that are moving through game worlds very quickly. You don't have to trick around with it again to shrink, for example, the world down and use smaller resolutions for textures overall. But you can actually have it like full size, but they're speeding through it. For example, if you have a racing game with a very large title or like an open RPG game. And I think, again, Spider-Man is a really good example of how you swing with the web through the houses of New York and Manhattan. And with that also, of course, if you constantly have to pull, for example, textures and 3D models from storage, you need a fast solution. And that is only getting help with the new storage.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You would think, actually, that this would be already there since the last generation, with games like Destiny having large loading times and other games. So we're just waiting, like, okay, can we go now? I'm pretty sure I'm already connected to the server. What's taking so long? And most likely it is probably also the technology that is using, of course, like loading all the things that you need to see after you finish the loading time.
Definitely. So what what are there any kind of confirmed peripherals that they're going to add to the PlayStation? Because with the last generation, we had PSVR. So
Well,
are they going to
current. Right now
do?
it's current. Sorry.
Okay, so I say last generation, but I mean
You're
with
so
this
much
generation,
2020, man.
I'm so far ahead of the curve, guys.
Yes.
But with this generation, we got the PSVR as one of the big peripherals. Are they bringing that back? What are they doing with PSVR for the next gen?
Yeah, here's actually a very cool thing. Apparently, the next generation of PlayStation will be backwards compatible, so all the PlayStation 4 titles that you have will work on this new system, and I guess, well, better than before. So it's like even on top of the PlayStation 4 Pro, much better. And, of course, regarding peripherals, PSVR, yes, also that will work with the new generation. And we also heard, like, they don't have much to talk about PlayStation VR right now, but they also let us know that there will also be coming a new version of the PlayStation VR headset.
Nice.
I mean, it makes sense, right? If they have more
yeah.
computing power, they can also drive a larger screen in front of your eyes to make VR even more impressive.
Yeah, that's going to be impressive, especially with them putting more money into it and hopefully getting some higher quality and more immersive VR equipment. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, for example.
So all of this is making me sort of excited for the next PlayStation. So when do you think we're going to see it?
Mark Cerny said it won't come out in 2019. So don't get your hopes up. If they do it that early, they probably only want to let us know about the system. To first, well, have a hype, because it's the first time we ever hear actually somebody from Sony talk about it. And then on the other hand, you know, there's lots of things happening right now with Google Stadia game streaming, Xbox bringing its xCloud game streaming service, and also on the Xbox side, we have a new console to be rumored to be coming out as well very soon. At least the reveal for this year. I personally think, for example, if there's a new console for Xbox, it will also come out in 2020. So again, we will have a bit of rivalry going, and that's quite exciting as always.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for the price. Like, what will this new system cost? There's rumors right now of, I think people are just guessing. They say like, oh, probably $500. And it's like, $500? That's a lot to ask for people that basically buy the systems right now for like $240. Like half of it, maybe. They just brought out, for example, on Xbox, the Xbox One S all digital. So it's an Xbox One S. But it doesn't have the disk drive anymore. You just download games, or you even, well, later on, stream them from the game stream service. So, in that regard also, the next generation of PlayStation will have a disk drive. So, yeah, physical media won't die out, at least for the next generation.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Awesome.
Especially, like, backwards compatible games, like, you need this. If you have lots of PlayStation 4 games, I have a lot of physical copies by now. I want to play them also on that system. So I can easily like put my PlayStation 4 Pro away and only use this one for 2 generations of console gaming. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, they finally took a note from Xbox, so I really thank them for that.
Definitely.
All right, Dan, now that you heard all about what is new with the next generation of PlayStation, what do you think about it? Would you be interested in getting one instead of the next Xbox? Is there something they could do that would maybe tempt you over to get a new PlayStation instead of an Xbox? I really want to have your insights, because I've been talking all the time, and it's basically the same as in the news, so what do you, the Xbox guy, think?
As an Xbox guy, it's more about what I can play and how I can play it. For me, personally, I like the controllers better than PlayStation ones, no matter how much R&D PlayStation put into it. They're going to want to keep the same design, and I speak from experience when I say I played the entire Uncharted game series, all of the games that have been released up to the most recent one, and I played that within the space of like 4 days, and afterwards, because of the PlayStation controller, my hands were literally cramping because of how I was gripping it like claws. It was not comfortable to use at all. And that's something that really like shies me away from wanting to play any PlayStations. But with the next generation, in my personal opinion, I may not have the best tech to keep up with this kind of stuff. But to me, the only difference between the Xbox One and Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro is the difference in exclusive titles or games that I like to play. Because I will play God of War. God of War is an absolutely amazing game. It's a cinematic masterpiece, and it just plays so well, and it's so much fun to play. The story was amazing. But of course, because I can't get it on an Xbox, I'm going to get a PlayStation.
Yeah, for example, right?
Yeah, but my home kind of like decision for kind of buying any kind of other consoles apart from an Xbox, is just what exclusives can I get on this, and are they worth it to me to go out and buy this new thing just so I can play this exclusive?
I'm also thinking like, since they say, yeah, PlayStation 4 games will work on PlayStation, I say 5. I guess we will call that later anyway. And will they also start like just like Xbox did, a PlayStation 5 Enhanced program, for example? Because this week, actually, we saw on Xbox there's like 6 new games getting Xbox X Enhanced, and you don't need to pay up for that. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
You can play Ninja Gaiden 2 now, which came new as a backwards compatible game, and that is also enhanced for 4K, everything. Then also Fable 2 and 3, and the free the free Splinter Cell games, Conviction, shoot me, I don't know the other two. Double Agent, Conviction, and the last one, Blacklist?
Blacklist, yeah. Splinter Cell Blacklist. That was the one with, that was the really weird one that had like Kinect support where you could just shout at people while you're playing it. It was very odd. It was really odd. It was
kind of weird. I like the campaign. I played through that one on PC. It was really good. But yeah, so if you had like, for example, the, I think 360 version of it, you can play it on Xbox One, and it will also look even better than ever before on an Xbox for free. And I really hope that, for example, PlayStation 5 games, PlayStation 4 on PlayStation 5 will get the same like treatment, care, love, which is a service that PlayStation can provide. It's just a little bit, at least, upscaling in the first place, because most of these PlayStation 4 titles already are, optimized for 4K and HDR and everything with the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's just like the PlayStation 5 probably has even more horsepower under the deck to provide the actual resolution, maybe even native 4K without any trickery, which looks even better, of course, on an actual 4K screen. So, yeah, we'll see how that will work out. But there's a lot of games, at least in the beginning of PlayStation 4 life cycle, where PlayStation 4 Pro and 4K gaming wasn't even a thing that could really like benefit from that treatment.
Definitely. But I think another aspect, just kind of going back to why Xbox over PlayStation, it's been with my gaming collection. I have quite a few physical copies of games, but most of my games are digital. And because I'm tied in with I've played Xbox for so long, and I have my PC, I use a lot. Sometimes I use the Windows Store and everything to get a game if it's cross-compatible and everything. And we're talking in the region of upwards of about 200-300 games. Well, I think in terms of the modern gamer, nobody wants to have one exclusive kind of like, oh, I only play this one game, or I only play on this one console.
True.
I think a lot of people now are just kind of like, I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to get it on the console which my friends have, but I'm going to have as many consoles as I want to support the gaming that I want to play. So I want to play a specific thing, I'll do this. So I think that there's a lot of people that have... that will be like, oh, well, the PlayStation is better, Xbox is better. I would just rather say which games are more interesting to play, which games are the best, and support them on whatever device you want to support them on. Yeah.
I'm just thinking I need to start saving probably right now, so I have a fund. Because if they both come out at the same time, last time in 2013, when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 launched, there was 7 days in between them. You basically need to spend like, I think, what was it, both 400, like 800 euros, I think. It was nuts. So it's like, oh God, are they going to do that again? So you probably are always standing there like, which one should I take first? Left, right? I don't know. I'd probably even say, if it wasn't like for talking about it and doing like content about it, I would just sit down and wait.
Yeah,
because at the beginning, like, there's so many things wrong with that. If the public gets their hands on it for the first time, there's like still so many bugs in there. It's just a given how complex these systems are getting by now. And it's not like with a PC where each PC is its own thing. It's just like one platform, but still, so many different things can be played on there. There will be also like a soft launch to talk about how games come out for 2 systems, for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in that case. Cyberpunk 2077 maybe will do that, or like the new Hideo Kojima game, Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there a really good reason for the PlayStation 5 to get it right at the launch? I think with recent times we really see, especially like with the second iteration of the consoles of each generation, the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, do you really need to step it up one more time? Or do you think like maybe in another 3 years when it's actually going to be interesting, when the developers have figured out the kinks of the console, where the limits are? Like, it's always the same thing. When a new console generation starts at the beginning, everything looks the same to the previous one, just a little bit, more clear. But with time, they actually find out so many things about the console, how you can trick it in to make game looks even more amazing. Just remember how games looked, for example, at the end of the PlayStation 3 cycle. They looked amazing. For example, the Quantic Dreams games. You wouldn't have guessed that this was PlayStation 3 back then. It could be like early PlayStation 4, but no, they actually were PlayStation 3. And I think the same thing also comes through now with the current generation that we see, just that we have more, of course, with the Pro generation of the same console generation. It's really weird to talk about this without saying this is actually like 9th generation, because it's just like a half step upwards. And yeah, the real difference will be probably in ray tracing. And they will definitely need games to support that to get them over, because that will be, of course, HDR is one thing you can say, I guess I can see it if you like mid-range 4K HDR TVs like mine. I don't have like a high-end system because they're crazy expensive. I guess then you could really see how there's a difference. But with ray tracing, you always see that reflections are actually true to what you would see in H out there. Everything looks just more like, yes, out of Uncanny Valley. This is the top. We're out of it. We're finally getting to a place where games look realistic for real, And that could be a game changer with the next generation.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Just to find a developer who can do that right away. It's very difficult.
I think that, especially now, it's consoles specifically bring out the next the makers of the consoles bring out the next generation, and then it takes the developers a while to get used to all the nuances and all the different ways they can do things. And then by the end of the cycle of the console, you start to get amazing looking, amazing playing games, which is really kind of like, if only they had that at the beginning.
What's also interesting is like, just regarding ray tracing, how many PC games do we have that actually support it? Battlefield 5, and then the latest Tomb Raider. Final Fantasy 15 still hasn't gotten it, I think. It's only in a demo, I think, with DLSS. It's not even ray tracing, it's just like the tensor cores are supporting a like smarter way how to make clearer image with a sub 4K resolution and polishing that up towards a 4K resolution. So it hasn't even to do with ray tracing. It's like, I don't know. Metro Exodus, of course, is another game I just remembered. But in that, it's also, it's not really that good. Because probably, at least on PC, people always want to have higher FPS and not just better looking games. So it's like really only for those that say, I can never 30 FPS, just look at the graphics.
The graphics. The graphics.
So it's going to be interesting how we'll start out. I definitely have enough experience under my belt now where I can say, I could be just going with it just to say I was one of the first ones. I will probably save up a little bit for it. But at the end of the day, I'll be like, if I wait another month, it doesn't hurt me. Not really. Yeah. Not even half a year, maybe, in the end.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm going to wait decision-wise before I get anything to like see if the games that are coming out is the things that I want. So like if they were like, the new PlayStation 5, it comes with the next God of War and this looks amazing, I'll be like, all right, I'll save up a bit. Maybe if I think it's a good idea, I'll get it. But I won't. I'm not immediately rushing out to buy the next PlayStation. Even if the next Xbox gets announced, I will think about it. But I want to know what else they're bringing out it for first. Like if they're like, Halo Infinite, that's coming out on the next console, and the next console's coming out next year, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'm down because that looks amazing.
Yeah, I was just always thinking they really want to do and make game streaming happen, and that is the one reason why you don't want to upgrade.
Yeah.
Because if you live in a situation where internet is good enough and you don't want to spend the full money for a new console, you can just go with the lower base, which is just a subscription to that game streaming service. You can chill and enjoy it. And you can enjoy it anywhere, even on a PC, even on a smart TV, or that console that you already have. Of course, it's a different thing because you don't really feel like you own the game if you don't have a physical copy in your hands. At least I feel that way, you know? But just the road towards the next generation, the 9th generation of consoles, is very different from the last time. Like, game streaming seems to be taking on a much bigger approach this time with Google and at least Xbox coming around. PlayStation with PlayStation Now, they don't really make use of it. They don't promote it. They don't include it with anything right now. Xbox at least has combined now its Game Pass and Live Gold, you know? Probably the Xbox X Cloud thing will just be bundled up in the same way. So you have one subscription, which maybe costs you, I don't know, let's say $20 a month, and you get like amazing games in your category. You get the Live Golds thing, and of course you also have the game streaming, which enables you to play a load of new games right away without even downloading them. So yeah, why go with new generation if it works that well? We don't know yet, but you know they don't really do themselves a favor. You know, maybe Sony knows this. Maybe that is the reason why they don't push PlayStation Now.
Yeah, maybe. I definitely agree that even if they did want to do it right now, it's kind of a bit of a not a bad place for the market, but it's not exactly the best. They need to wait a little bit, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about covers it. If you guys have any thoughts or things that you're looking forward to on the PlayStation 5, or if you've come across any kind of new aspects that we haven't covered yet in this video, please leave a message in the comment section down below.
I always say that you don't know how often in the morning I'm getting confused, and then put a comment down in the description. No, wait, there's the links on the description, the comments on the comments.
That's our job. So put it.
It's true. It's true.
If you have anything you want to say about this, put it in the comment section down below, or hit us up on Twitter at The New Byte, or go to our website, thenewbyte.com, and go to our Discord page, which you can easily find, and join us on Discord and send us a message. You'll be like, hey, I think this is really cool, or give us some other thoughts about it. But yeah, House, where can anyone find you online?
They can find me at HAU5Test. That's House Test everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and such. And Dan, where can people find you?
Oh, as always, anybody can find me everywhere and anywhere, just at DJH331. So DJH331, anywhere and everywhere. You can find me and get in contact with me.
And the New Byte, of course, is everywhere on the same name, The New Byte. Thanks again for watching, guys, and have a nice day.
Bye now.